Hey everybody, it's Christine, and since I missed last Saturday for Stealing Saturday, I am actually going to share 2 Stealing Saturdays with you this week, kicking it off with Marcia. I have known her for a long time, and she has always had beautiful work. There's very few things that she has ever made that I am just not wowed by. And this layout that I'm copying from her is probably one of my favorites of all time from her. I saw it and I was just like, wow, it's just gorgeous. So you can see she had a really beautiful leaf wreath going on. She used jelly bean soup, she used Just Nick cut files, and so I'm gonna try and recreate it using some different products. I am going to dig into the Beautiful collection called Beautiful from Simple Stories. It's about a year old, and I had bought it last year and just have not had the right time, chance, pictures to use it with. And today I finally pulled it out. You can see it's got some really pretty colors in it. It's got this gray, kind of almost a sepia look. And then it's got some really soft pinks, really soft greens, some off-white, and then the blue I actually added in myself. That is just some cardstock, and I brought that in because it matches my daughter's shirt. Now, right now I am creating some flowers. All I've done is just cut out a very sloppy circle and then cut from the outside in, making a spiral. And then I just roll it up. Very, very simple to make and add some great dimension. And you'll see how I am able to make those have dimension in a little bit, but not so much dimension that they overwhelm the layout. Now I've pulled in another patterned paper. This one I'm going to use as a frame around the layout. I went this direction because I wanted some black in there. The soft colors were great and everything, but a lot of the words and stickers and stuff in this collection had black in them, and so I needed to bring that in somehow so that I could make it all tie together nicely. So you can see already how it's going to frame my whole layout there. And then I'm also going to cut out some little flower stickers from it and just use those for some added embellishing around the wreath. Now I'm cutting out a couple different flower options from this patterned paper just to give myself some options, 3 of each one, just so that I have a fair variety of the black flowers. Now, you can see the wreath in the background already starting to take shape. Looks very different from Marcia's, but is still that idea of a really pretty floral wreath. She had some really rich colors in hers from jelly bean soup, and I definitely was going for a more soft look, which is not real typical of my style. I tend to go more for the color, but what is in this collection is softer colors, so we roll with it, right? And I think, it's a good challenge for myself too to do something different. So now I'm going to dump the whole thing off and really start to assemble it. So what you were seeing before was just kind of my prep work, getting a feel for where everything was going to go and such. Now, I am going to pull in a black pen here, and I'm just going to do some simple outlining, again, just to make that black really pop off the page a little bit. I'm going to go all the way around this white cardstock, and then I'm also going to pull out a circle. This is an 8.5-inch circle, and I'm just going to trace around it real lightly with a pencil and use that as my basis for building my wreath. I'm going to attach this picture with my Easy Runner Grand, and I'm also going to outline around the picture, not around the blue, but around the picture. The blue, I'm actually going to, I'm not going to use the Easy Runner Grand. I pulled that out, but I'm not going to. You're going to see here in just a minute what I am going to use, because as I started to do it, I realized I want some dimensions. So I'm going to pull out some crafty foam tape from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L and just make it pop up a little bit. And there you have it. And I am going to, offset it a little bit, slant it a little bit, and really now build my wreath around her picture. So what I ended up doing was kind of a pattern, and what I worked with was a pink flower and then two of the off-white gray flowers surrounding those, and then a blue flower. And the blue flower is actually multiple layers. It's just a simple metal die cut, and I put one on top of the other. And just, I've got 3 pinks, I've got 3 blues, and then I've got more of the gray off-white flowers. Now, you can see right there, I just smashed down that flower. So once I secured it onto my layout, those pink ones that are rolled, I smashed it down. And yes, that totally changes the look of it, but it gives it a very vintage crushed flower look, which I don't know if that's a thing, but I feel like that's a thing, a vintage crushed flower. I mean, like a aged flower between a book or something. I don't know. I might be totally making this up, but in my mind, it really works. So we'll roll with it. Now I'm playing around with the centers here. I thought maybe buttons would work, but they're really too big, just overwhelming. So I'm just going to use some simple enamel dots here in the center just to bring in, again, a little more of that black and tie the whole thing together. And then I just am going to add on some of those little black flowers. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is pull out these letter stickers. Now, what in heaven's name am I doing? Well, I didn't have enough black letter stickers. Marcia did use jelly bean soup letters to put a quote on her layout. And I really liked the way that looked. And so I wanted to copy that, but I didn't have them in black. So I have a lot in this aqua color from the Bohemian Brew line. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to just color those black with my Sharpie and make them work. And it totally worked. Actually, my whole title, except for one word, is all built with me using my Sharpie. Now, I do a lot of layouts where I have like a single picture of my kid. That's just a picture I like, and there's not necessarily a huge story behind it. And so I decided today, as I was working, that what I'm going to start doing on those is trying to add a quote to them that I can put together a whole book of nice pictures of them with quotes, things that I want them to remember and think about, inspirational quotes, if you will. And so this is kind of the beginning of something new for me. I do a lot of multi-photo layouts. I do a lot of thematic layouts, all that stuff. But every once in a while I do one like this where, it's a great picture, but there's no real major memory behind it. And so I thought this will be a good way to kind of create another little bit of I don't know what the right word is, a memory keeping thing, message for my kids. And I thought it'll work really nicely with all of them. So you can see my title / quote is starting to come together. And I just found this one on Pinterest. I thought it was a nice quote. I thought it was something good to remember. And so I'm just building it. Now, the word circumstances is really long. It totally works here. Thankfully, I was not so sure once I put it on there if it was going to work, but it did. And then the word joy comes from a Cardabella collection. It was from a 12 by 12 cardstock sheet that I had on hand. And then you can see U comes from another jelly bean soup sticker pack. These ones are just script words. And so I really was happy with the look I was able to create by combining both the print type from Jelly Bean Soup along with some script fonts. It just, I'm so happy with it. And as I started this layout, like the first hour of working on it, I was like, I don't know. This whole thing it's not coming. And I thought, just keep going, see how it goes. They don't all have to be masterpieces. After all, I am kind of copying someone else's work or their idea, and so that's not always going to pan out exactly how I want it to. Now, all that said, I end up just loving this layout. Once I got the quote on there, I was just thrilled to pieces with it. I could not, seriously, it's going to probably be one of my favorites of the year so far. It just turned out so pretty, feminine, nice quote. The flowers are great. I just was delighted with it. So I'm putting on a lot of my final touches here, and I'm just adding some of those little file folder stickers there to the side, just to bring in another little element off on that side of the picture, since there aren't all the flowers over there. And, you know, kind of just a chance to use some more from this collection before I set it aside again. Now you can see the blue on there. I was nervous about the blue, but I really think it pops nicely with her picture. And then the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out some black mist, and I'm just going to add some simple splatters. You can see me with my cardstock covering up the picture just so I don't hit that. Very light amount of splatters, not too many, just some here and there. And that is it. So thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to check my channel again this afternoon for another Stealing Saturday and another victim. We'll see you soon.